Namaskaram, and thanks for the introduction. And thanks for the opportunity, IHRD, and all participants with full energy on a Sunday morning. And we see online participants who are more than 500, so it's very energetic. And I am aware about the time constraint, okay? And I like that idea of 5 minutes Q&A. And I will try to deliver what I have in a quite interactive manner. And I am here as a user of GenAI, the front end of it, okay? So I'm not an AI expert at the back end, how the technology works and all that. But I've used a lot of tools or explored and experimented, so I'm just going to share my observations and things like that, all right? And the presentation would be like, it will be a self-evidence of using the tool itself. And the first one of that list of tools is what we call wheels of names. So can I have some volunteers as we proceed into the talk to participate in quizzes or answering what comes to your mind when we say the word AI, all right? So that you will have an exposure to as we get into the talk. So maybe 3 from this side and another 3 volunteers from this side, okay? I don't have any gifts or prizes, okay? This itself is a gift to you, okay? So you can raise your hand and tell me your short name. I will include that in the wheel of names, and then we will spin it when the time comes, and you will have a chance to, you see, you don't have to get up and answer. It's all online, okay? You're going to scan a QR and bring it to the tool, and you will answer some questions there. Okay, so please, volunteers from the right-hand side. Okay, your name, please, sir. Can you spell that for me? J? D-H? T-H-I-N. Okay, Jitin. Thank you. Next. Yeah.
Fahad. F-A.
F-A.
H-D.
H-D. D. Okay. Fahad. Fahad. Okay. Some gender equality. Anyone? Ladies, women? Don't worry, again, I promise, even though promises are meant to be broken, you won't be raising up to answer questions. You will be doing it on your phones. By the way, please keep your phones handy. Okay, you're going to take a lot of QR scan. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, Jisha, J-I-S-H-A.
J-I-S-H-A. Okay. All right, on this side.
Adityan. A-D-I-T-H-Y-A-N.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
V-I-D-H-A.
V-I-D-H-A. Okay. Vidya.
Amal, A-M-A-L.
Amal. Okay. All right. So we have Fahad, we have Amal. All right. Okay. So you might have heard and probably have used what is called gamification, making a delivery more participative and engaging. And why we are doing this is because we are facing the students and we want to get them. They will be entering the class with a lot of different mental states, emotional states, and whatnot to get them into the same wavelength so that the delivery will be effective. Okay, so we want to have some engaging gamified approach. So we will leave these wheels of names here, and right, I'm going to show you 4 videos which will take about 3 minutes in total. But I will interject in between this. First would be from Minsky, one of the pioneers of AI from MIT, right? Let's hear what he has to say back in the late 1950s.
Wouldn't it be better if you stored the program in the computer's memory just like the data, and then you could have, they were thinking of the future rather than the present, and then maybe someday the computer could compute a new program for a new job and store it, and that made the computers more powerful.
All right. So I hope you have noticed the color change. Okay. So what he envisioned, okay, is already happening today, right? A computer then that can create computation by itself, given some inputs. Now, from 1959, let's move to the last week of September 2023.
I'm feeding this diagram of a human cell into GPT-4 Vision, and I'm simulating, hey, I'm a 9th grade biology student struggling in school, help me understand this. And check this out. List out all 18 of these labels on this diagram and provide accurate explanations of what each one of these is. Well, I simulate that this was a little bit too complex, like dumb it down for me, help me understand. And then the AI comes up with this whole like analogy of how the cell is the city, and you see things like the ribosomes are workers in factory. They build things, proteins. Like every single student in the world now has an expert tutor that not only can they chat with it, but they can show things to it.
So there you go. From 29th of September, last Friday, ChatGPT have included vision and voice into their platform, but this is only available to Plus and Enterprise subscribers. By the way, I'm not a promoter of ChatGPT or any other tools. Okay, I'm just sharing observations and experience. So you see that it can act as a personal tutor to students. They just put in a picture or a photo, and ChatGPT returns a description of that, and you're not happy with that because it's still dry. So you ask further questions to simplify that and give the analogy of each component of the human cell. Let's move on to the next video.
I gave the new GPT-4 Vision model this screenshot of a SAS dashboard, and I asked it basically to break this down into components and write all the code. So I went through all the files, I pasted all the code in, right, all this code here, and out came this.
All right, interesting, right? So you give the URL link or even a screenshot of an application, and ChatGPT gives you what runs behind that, and you can modify from there and build your own app. Okay.
This one's just absolutely unbelievable. It mocked up this whiteboarding session here, right? You passed that photo to GPT-4 Vision with this basic prompt to generate the code for it. Let me set this down, and I really want you to pay attention to this, right? So it generated the code, I pasted that into VS Code here, and now watch this. So you're gonna see step 1 here is enter your name. Check out the diagram here. So the model was able to see that I had these arrows, and it actually flipped the order of these, and I wanted to test if it could do that, and sure enough, it does.
All right, so this is even more a testimony of how powerful things are with AI, all right? You just have to sketch, don't worry about handwriting, and it will generate what you want, okay? So this is generative AI. And let's move to my presentation today. I see that generative AI, we have been using AI here and there for past decade, but GenAI, which is not even 1 year old, Okay, I think it was released on 30th November last year, and there's so much that it can do right now. It's completely redefining our sector, the education sector, especially the tertiary education, higher education. We're going to look at some tools, all right, how students and educators can utilize and benefit from the tools. At the same time, as you saw just now, it takes up an application or system, and ChatGPT gives you the code. So there are some issues about copyrights and things like that. Of course, not to mention the ethical issues. So we are parallelly going to look into these considerations, ethical considerations, plus what can lead to policy formulation that would help educators and students alike. Because we should know how much AI or Gen AI is allowable, and how we should utilize that with some amount of responsibility. So I initially, I got this invitation to deliver this talk in like 45 days ago. So, and I wasn't aware about what other talks would be. So I just prepared 3 main things here. What is generative AI, its impact on education, and the opportunities and challenges in terms of ethical considerations and policies. So I hope this room here is filled with students, teachers, administrators, and policymakers, because this talk covers all these sectors. And I plan to skip the first one, what is generative AI, because I think yesterday's 5 or 6 talks have covered that enough. So we don't want to get too much into it. But there will be some interactivity in the first item on the agenda. And about this presentation, it's kind of a disclaimer, all right, that this, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a participatory talk with something like a thing in itself. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate what I wanted to say about the tools, okay, by getting your responses, real questions, and things like that. I'm here to deliver my perspectives as an educator of using generative AI, of the front-end tools only. So I will not be able to answer the technology, the brain work behind that. I'm as a user point of view. Therefore there may be better or alternative tools that you may have used and benefited from. The ultimate intention of this talk is to spur discussions, okay, that will lead to giving us some foundations towards formulating policies, guidebooks, and whatnot. I hope this will land in a great way to this afternoon's panel forum, okay, and provide some final objectives for the conclave, okay, come up with some ideas towards the next step in formulating policies. All images except 2, I think, are GenAI generated, okay. So this you can take as a quiz and ask me if that photo is a real person or a generative AI, okay. And of course a copy of this deck, and I created a quick toolkit that can be used for by students and lecturers alike, okay, a list of tools, and also the prompting network. How do you ask questions? Of course this is a fancy word, okay, from a user point of view. Prompting, basically asking questions in the right way, in a systematic, structured way, so that ChatGPT or any LLM platforms can give you what you wanted. Okay, now time for to take out your cell phones and scan this QR. What is something you already know about AI? In one word, okay, that is one word or 1 or 2 words. I hope this scan works. Okay, the QR works. It should take you to a platform called Mentimeter. Are you there? Anyone can watch? Fahad, Amal, is it working? Is it going to Mentimeter? Loading, okay. Maybe one more minute and then I'll go to Mentimeter. Okay. So just in one word, okay, or maximum 2 words, please say whatever comes to your mind when people say generative AI or AI. Okay, it could words like something like automation, efficiency, happy, all right, whatever, any descriptive words, please put in that. I fulfill my quota, and this is one of the things that I want to tell you and share with you. You see, some of you may not be able to submit, or if you have submitted, it may not appear here. This is cloud of words. Some have used the word intelligent, easy, chat GPT, all right, efficiency, chatbot, tension. There is someone, okay. So I can't present this now. You see, it locked my presentation mode. Otherwise, that green color button there would be in blue color. I could have presented to you in a big screen. I know this is going to happen, okay, because I already obtained about 18 responses. It limits to 50 responses per month, per 30-day period. Why I'm sharing this is because I'm going to talk about equity and affordability. So probably educators through the school, we may be able to subscribe the enterprise or premium versions of platforms like this, of softwares like this. But students will not be able to access it once the quota is fulfilled and things like that. Okay, so this is an example, okay, how we can encourage students to tune them to the wavelength for that topic for that day in that class. Okay, now thanks for your responses. Let's move on to the next. So this is the slide that I wanted to skip. On your far right, you see an image. Can you tell me if it is, do you think it is a real person's photograph? Or sorry, on your far left, okay, on your far left. So it is beautifully taken photograph of a real person. So generative AI gets in, try to identify the patterns using its algorithm, and then it comes up with its own version of that image on the far right, from far left to the far right, okay? And so one more time, take a good look at this beautiful lady, and this one, okay? On your far left is the original image. The subsequent ones towards the right, which one do you think is GenAI and which one do you think is still original? Shall we go to the wheel of names and see who is going to answer this question? Sorry, I have to go back and forth. Okay, wheel of names, this one. So I'm going to click on this. Fahad, you are the lucky person. Okay, so Fahad, yeah, so now you can, yeah. Oh, there's a clapping sound, right? I didn't realize that. Okay, so I'll keep this here in this format. So which one do you think is, I think I accidentally showed the answer. So, but Fahad, you didn't see anything, right? Okay, very good. So, yeah. How about the middle ones, the second and the third to the right?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one is AI first one is the original one. Next one is AI generated. I think the third one is also AI generated because there is a difference in the nose compared to the first one. So I think the second, third, and fourth are AI generated.
Okay, very good, excellent. Okay, so this is 25% modified and 35 and 45% modified. Okay, the reason I'm showing this is to put forward to you a very clear instance of the demarcation, which is true, which is not, is going to be there very soon, okay? Especially when our assignments, assessments are more of a write-up basis, then it will going to be very difficult for us to find out whether the submitted assignment or assessment is assisted by AI in any form or not. Okay, and I think that, okay, I'm jumping the boat now. I think that we can't stop students from using AI. We can't. We can only equip ourselves to manage things here onwards. Okay, now this is a clear cut. We don't have to stay on this. We know where GenAI sits in the entire machine learning ecosystem or AI ecosystem. Okay, I hope the Mentimeter still works. There's another QR. Here is a quiz. Okay, so as I said, this is going to be the thing as it is. My presentation today, my talk today. You're going to get a first-hand experience of using the tools yourself. So this is a quiz you can create using Mentimeter. And I hope my quota is still working. So it gives you a list of slightly more than a dozen different tools and asks you whether you are either aware about it or have used it. So you can reply there. It still accepts inputs, but probably I can't present that. But I have a workaround. I can just do this. Okay. 24%. ChatGPT, 24%. Google Bot is coming in a big way. Google Bot. What is missing here? As I was preparing this, suddenly Microsoft announced Copilot, replacing the other. What was the other AI? Microsoft. Anyone? Do you want me to push the wheels? Microsoft Bing, yeah. So it's being replaced with Copilot in the next couple of weeks. Notion. Take note of Notion. I think it is not as powerful. I've tried that, using that in terms of prompting and getting the responses. I've used the same prompt on ChatGPT and Notion. Obviously, ChatGPT gave me what I wanted in my perspective. But Notion is also a good platform in that it has integrations to many other things. You can embed videos and whatnot. So the whole stack of your lecture notes, okay, if you are running out of time and you want to deliver a lecture on a topic that probably you have never delivered in the last many years, you can go to Notion and ask it to generate. It's complete with images, graphs, and whatnot. Okay, then you get into it and put in the human perspective. Okay, because not all content will be. We need to validate the content. Okay. I think Dr. Arun will be speaking on validation of content using LLM platforms. So, okay, good. So this is what we see. So most of you have used Grammarly, ChatGPT, and Microsoft Bing is there, but not Copilot. Okay. It's good to know. Now, so which means you are aware of a handful of tools. So we are ready to proceed to the next. Okay, this futuretools.io is a directory of more than 1,200 tools, AI and generative AI. Okay, you can get into it. I think I don't want to go back and forth to the internet, the browser, and show this to you. You might can see it on your phones. So you can search and filter different categories of AIs and try it out yourself. It's a very good directory, future tools. And I classified whatever tools that are out there as platforms or consumer tools, whereby consumer tools are more general purpose tools, whereby there is a a risk of data transmission to the owners of the platform, okay, like ChatGPT, Copilot, and Bard. They actually keep or store the data. It is written into their fine prints, and basically we can still use it, but with some caution that we don't put in personal information and stuff like that if it is consumer tools. But platforms like Notion, Canva, and Gamma. Gamma is the tool that I use to the presentation that you are viewing now on the screen. Okay, so what you are seeing now in terms of color selection and whatnot, the entire look and feel of this presentation is generated by Gamma. Okay, and I hope it is a little bit harmonious to the choices of colors for this conclave. Okay, this is more intense, the one that Gamma chose, and IHRD's banners are a little bit lighter on that. Okay, let's move on to GenAI for education. Okay, so we have seen that there are a lot of tools and platforms and assistants that we can get all online to conduct our teaching and learning activities. And we can also automate to a large extent. We have already been doing this in e-learning platforms. Okay, so let me get back to the wheel of names and see who the next lucky person is. Okay, because this question is about who's that? Vidya or Vida? Vida, yeah. Have you used any e-learning platforms? See, I promise I'm not going to ask you to answer, but I already said that all promises are meant to be broken. So, e-learning platforms that you have used, LMS, learning management systems, either as a student or an educator.
Would Coursera come under an e-learning platform?
Uh-huh.
I've used Coursera.
Coursera?
Coursera.
Coursera, okay, yeah. Very good, okay. So, you can automate a lot of things in LMS or e-learning platforms, okay. But the question remains, okay, what benefits and challenges there are to the educators? So for educators, curriculum development, I've tried this on ChatGPT, okay. I prompt ChatGPT by giving my current syllabus structure and say that this is outdated, okay, I want this to be refined, redesigned from 6 chapters to 5 chapters with focus on real world industrial problems, okay. So, and it did a wonderful job for me. And virtual tutor or mentoring system is there. We have seen a lot of examples yesterday, right? And also one of the videos just now. Do you remember the human cell video? Okay. So students now have the opportunity that to go less on complaining about the ineffective delivery of teaching to using these tools by themselves. They can even in turn educate the teacher back, okay? Because ChatGPT or any platforms, they can give analogies that students can learn, okay? We have to get into the mind, state of mind or the psychology of students in accepting or absorbing a topic or a knowledge, body of knowledge. Because only when the students are ready, the master or the teacher will appear. You might have heard this saying, okay? This, I would see, okay, a little bit on the policy matter. So students are going to use the GenAI tools anyway, all right? So to which extent we can allow them to use, how much is allowable or permissible, okay? How much beyond which it is not a healthy education scenario. So we have passive, formative, instructional, individual and team kind of assessments that we can give. Okay, this is about generating assessments using GenAI. I would say the passive, formative, and instructional are AI trivial. What is AI trivial? It is immune that assignments can be completed using AI and then be modified by students that the assessor, the teacher, would not be able to differentiate. Okay? So these are the first three levels of assignment categories, I would say, okay, that are AI trivial. Then, if you want it to be, your assessment to be AI robust, okay, that means there should be some task that involves interaction, okay, that students have to interact among themselves and with the instructor. This is where probing questions, cross-examination of the students' knowledge, okay, and abilities can be made in person. Thus, in person doesn't have to be physically in person. It can even be through a Google Meet or Zoho Meet, right? So, I'm putting forward an idea here, AI trivial and AI robust, when coming up with the policy guidelines and guidebooks and whatnot. To the learners, obviously, personalized learning, okay. Yesterday, we saw some posters. This also calls for how personalized is personalized, okay. I have simulated a scenario. I acted like a student or a learner into ChatGPT, prompting a chain of prompts like it explains to me, and maybe some sentences I don't understand what is the meaning of that, what is it trying to say, so I question it back. So you can have your, so this is what I think they call chatbot, okay, you have a personal tutor by your side, okay. Another meaning of personalized learning is assessments. Okay, imagine you have 5 objective MCQ questions. 5. This is the easiest of the easiest, and this is the most difficult. Okay. So if the student can answer this easiest of the easiest and the second question correctly, the system will understand the base that this student has a good foundation. The conceptual basis is there. It will skip question number 3 and hit question number 4 for the student. Adaptive, personalized. Instant feedback, okay. I'm going to administer a very short quiz, I would say, with 5 questions at the very end of this talk. You will see that if you select the right answer, it will give you a feedback. If you select the wrong answer, it will give you a feedback. And then it will show the right answer if you have selected the wrong answer. The correct answer, it will show and explain why that is the correct answer. So instant feedback is there. And this is not new, okay. I've been exposed to this when I sat for my GRE in 2005, okay. So this idea is not new. And then, of course, access to resources. With the latest announcement by ChatGPT last Thursday on 28th of September that it's going to incorporate also internet browsing in its search. So the data that ChatGPT is going to use is no more limited to September 2021. So it's going to be as updated as the internet provides the information to it. Okay, so yeah, without going through these bullet points. And how many of you are students here, learners? I mean, all of us are learners, lifelong learning. Students, okay, very good. So you will see these are the benefits as a learner or student, okay, how GenAI can help you in terms of readability. Yesterday we saw an app, students came up with voice recognition and transcription of voice to text and whatnot. There's so many assistance that you can get. Okay, but okay, let me get to the right hand side of the screen here. The opinion is still split between we want to restrict AI or legitimize the full use of generative AI. So that debate is still ongoing, and that's why I believe we are here today and yesterday. So what are the challenges relevant? Okay, relevant challenges before we get into the policy matters. Standardized system. Okay, we use standardized tests, standardized syllabus without any elasticity, without any personalization. But I think as the world population grows, okay, from when I was like a student was 6 billion, today is 8.3 billion, okay. There are more brains, of course, biologically physical brains, and there are more minds on earth that we cannot cater for everyone using a single system. So we need to personalize. High costs, how much affordability, how much we have to make the tools affordable. What can we suggest to the platform owners as an institute, okay, provide us at this affordable price range or price points. Inadequate grounding, this is a long-standing issue. Okay, I mentioned just now that the master will appear when the students are ready. Okay, so we take a class, let's say the third year class, okay, but the subject needs some basic prerequisites from the first year or even the high school physics or whatever, but the students grab of that, or probably they've forgotten, they are not ready to absorb the knowledge, okay. So that's one. And then outdated teaching methods. I think we don't have to dwell too. We know what outdated means today. So I lay out to you the respective members of today's talk. We have to redefine educational mindset, which has to start from within the institution. We have to do some drive on that. Implementation and infrastructure is very important, because even with the right tool at the right price, but if you cannot reach, you cannot access it because of technical restrictions, also there's no point in that. Ethical considerations, okay, which I will end the talk with. Legal framework, which is at a higher level, sanctions and approvals given by, let's say, the Ministry of Education, and the risks to the students, okay. The students must know what risk are they taking by using generative AI for their assessments and exams. Okay, they shouldn't be made a victim. So that means the rules must be made known to them from day one. So this is how the examination scenario is going to change, I think. Okay, from traditional on far left, from individual AI assisted. So we have, in between, we have open book tests. How many of you students there, when your lecturer says it's going to be open book test, you are so happy? And then later realize that open book test questions are even more difficult. So now the same thing, okay? Let's say if we are going to step up to what is called individual AI assisted examination, you're allowed to bring a laptop which is connected to the internet. You can use ChatGPT, for example. Will you be able to use ChatGPT effectively? Because if you don't know what you don't know, you can't ask the right questions to ChatGPT. Okay, I think I made my point here. So the cognitive abilities, the 5W1H questions. So these are the challenges to the students. Okay, borderline plagiarism. Turnitin claims that they can check for AI content, but I don't think so. It is as effective. Zero GPT and GPT-0, two other platforms, also have tested a lot. They either overfit or underfit. Okay, this is what I realize. So we must come to some kind of a terms whereby the percentage of usage of AI generated content is still allowed or not allowed. We need to discuss about that. Accuracy and partiality is always there. You use tools like image. I don't want to mention the name of that tool. Image, text to image generation. When you say, okay, it's going to be, you want to ask the tool to generate an image or photograph of a certain person, human person, and you give a description of that person, it generates that person with a certain skin color. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And this is what we call partiality, it's bias. I don't know, somehow it is built into the algorithm or not, I'm not so sure. But we have to be careful with that. And of course the technology skills, okay. What skill is needed at this point in time from an educator point of view? I'm very convinced prompting skills, okay. Remember this slide here? You must know what to ask and how to ask. So asking question is going to be the next gen skills that students will need. And that needs a lot of brain, okay. So like what Prof. Cliff emphasized yesterday, okay. and also the Honorable Minister. Human intelligence will always supersede any artificial intelligence, or it should, okay? Okay, risk factors to be considered by policymakers: data privacy and security, job displacements, okay? As I'm standing here, I'm always thinking like, how am I going to make myself indispensable in this era of Gen AI, okay? So, and finally the tech dependence. Over-reliance on Gen AI will only graduate lazy or what you call light-minded minds out there. So we need to measure, okay? We need to measure, we need to know the yardstick, how much is allowable, so that over-dependence will not be there. So this is what I mentioned. And UNESCO as an article, later when I share you this deck, share with you this deck, you will see that UNESCO, you will see a reference. UNESCO has a write-up on the potential impact of generative AI on job market, both for the graduates as well as the educators. They don't believe, let me go back a little while, they don't believe that Gen AI is going to displace conventional job scopes right away or in the near term. It will also simultaneously create some jobs that was not there before this. And I was very attracted to the idea of someone who answered a question yesterday or gave their viewpoint that our role as a teacher, lecturer or educator, okay, will slowly shift to as a guide. Okay, I don't know what is what's going to be the new fancy name for that, but as of now it's GUIDE. Guide the students. We're going to be that, or maybe facilitator. This is one straightforward policy written into the policy of a conference organizer. I'm going to attend this conference next year on the use of artificial intelligence. I hope even though it's a little bit tiny here for those at the back, it reads generative artificial intelligence use prohibited. So once we upload our PDF of articles, okay, I don't know, they may have some super Gen AI detector tool running at the back. So they're going to scan for that. And then those are the fine prints, authorship and AI tools. So this is being built into authorship, author guidelines of journals. Sorry? I think they will, hopefully. And SSDM, which is a series of conference, annual conference, I think for the first time, 2024, they are implementing this, okay? So the call for paper is open, and I came across this, I thought it's nice to share with you. Academic integrity, pathways, okay, some questions I put forward for AI-assisted assignments. Consider ethical implications, okay, in relation to using Gen AI. What are the policy measures? What is the guidebook saying? We don't have a guidebook. That's so true. I browse many major universities in the US, Canada, Singapore, where not. They have policy statements, but not a guidebook. And probably because the technology is changing on a daily basis. When I left Kuala Lumpur airport, ChatGPT wasn't saying that it is connected to the internet. I mean, it will source information from the internet. 7 hours later in Singapore, when I wanted to just check and see if anything changes, it said it will allow vision, voice and internet. So how can we have a fixed guidebook? Okay, it's going to be a live document at least for some time. We have to keep modifying it as the technology changes. Okay, probing questions, reliability, privacy, security. I think we have covered this a little bit. But maybe the point 4, lack of human connection. So I was at Prof. Achu's facility, his department, a couple of days ago, and also 3 years ago. I see that there's a lot of human connections between whatever they do between them. Okay, there's some time that they spend together in the morning or in the evening, things like that. This is at the risk of, we are at the risk of missing this. So this has to also be built into the policy. How much human interaction time is needed between students, between educators, and between these two groups, educators and learners. Skills, prompting skills. I think there should be a crash course or even one whole course, okay? I'm not so sure, standing here, I have to admit, even yesterday, Prof. Viraj also touched on this, prompting engineering and prompting skills, all right? From what he shared, my understanding is that prompting or prompt engineering is at the back end, prompting skills at the front end. And then, therefore, educators and learners, okay, we have to go for the prompting skills from the front end. So some kind of crash course must be developed, prompting guide and continuous improvement and modifications to the guide and the skills that we need. This 5S chain, for me, it's too much, okay, too much. So I simplified that to a 4-step prompting technique, which is also there, used by many other people. It's called incremental prompting technique. You set the context. Unfortunately, we don't have time, not only time. If I go through this in detail, it will be like a workshop. So, so establish the context, explain the topic to ChatGPT, specify the task, okay. You have, for lack of a better word, a digital, I don't want to use that word, SLAVE. Because you don't have to ask ChatGPT, please create this for me. You don't have to use the word please, all right. Or probably it will return some response to you with a thank you. Okay, if you use the word please. If you didn't use the word please, probably there's no thank you. Some kind of value system is there, okay, built into ChatGPT, and then you have to ask follow-up questions. Yes, this is a AI generated modified image. I grabbed this from Google Images with some search terms. And then I put into image modifier, and then it created this for me. Before this, there was no what you call glowing steps. The first 3 steps, it was not glowing. There was no human hand. If you look at the human fingers there, there's something wrong there. So GenAI image creating tools are still not good with fingers. Sometimes you have 6 fingers and all that. The eyes part, the eyebrow and all that, still not so perfect, but we are there. We should be there somewhere. Okay, this is an example of prompting. I think I have to loan 5 more minutes from you. Okay. So establishing the context, asking questions, and follow-up questions as well. Act as an experienced instructional designer. This we are telling ChatGPT or Notion. Create a 5-hour lesson plan on which topic, okay, for the age group or student group, maybe 8th grade or 12th grade, with the following, okay, list down the objectives, okay, use any educational theory that you know. Here I use GAG's 9 events of instruction theory. Indicate the estimated time for each event, because this is a step of 9 events. Provide sufficient details, create a well-structured response, and all that. It will give you a beautiful lesson plan for that topic. And these prompting skills is especially for students, the 80-20 Pareto, okay. This is what actually I think all of us senior lecturers here have experienced, okay, all this while as a student and also as a lecturer. Most of our knowledge base that we have, the body of knowledge, okay, 99% came from outside, okay, and that 99%, actually what we read from the textbooks, 100% of it, only 20% is where the core knowledge is. The other 80% is the peripheral, nothing much. So the students want to get direct into that 20%. This is one prompt that they can use, okay. It use 80-20, insert the subject field and ask ChatGPT to give you that juice, all right, the gist of the topic. So we have touched on human interaction just now. Policy actions, 7, calibrate the policy response, okay. For those who are in the policy making sector here or vertical here, I'll give an example of a policy statement link there from Ohio University. and policy response that caters for equity and transparency. Okay, I've already emphasized on this in the earlier part of my talk. Balance between reactive and proactive measures. Okay, AI literacy, prompting and all that. Okay, AI adoption by the administrators and policymakers, and AI risk reduction programs. Okay, must be in place. The next slide, coming slides will explain what these programs are. Early adopter program. Not all lecturers or educators are extremely welcoming GenAI or any new technology for that matter. Some will be receptive. So we get them, okay, to use GenAI in some parts of their delivery and then improve on that. And that will become a knowledge base for us to design or come up or draft the guidebook. Funding schemes for AI research. As you see, sometimes we are struggling to get research grants. And here's an opportunity for us to use freely available tools, roll it out to students, to a number of batches or cohorts of students, and see which tool is effective or which approach of teaching using this tool is effective as a research by itself. Okay, and please do still emphasize on human skills. Okay, a student standing in front of the lecturer or teacher still have to use his communication skills. At that point in time, no AI will be assisting him unless they inject something here, which I think a company of Elon Musk is doing. Yeah. And redesign the assessments. Okay, this is something that I'm working on. Our semester in UITM is reopening next Monday. I mean tomorrow. Yeah, but I'm here. So I'm going to roll out my internals, what we call test 1 and test 2 back home, using generative AI tools. Okay, subjective assessments, and policymakers should also come up with a prompt book and exposure campaign. Okay, if you want to go full swing on utilizing Gen AI, I do believe we have to have some kind of a campaign here and there around the campus. Okay, we need to highlight the benefits and the risks, okay, to students and educators alike. So, digest. We have looked into the challenges of generative AI, especially the lack of personalization, using the tools correctly and responsibly, opportunities, whatever the tools can do. I even had the chance to share with you ask your PDF or chat PDF tool. Okay, I have that in my browser, but because of lack of time, you put a PDF, it will give you a summary, and you can ask further questions like that. I have recently prepared an entire research proposal on using XR, extended reality, to teach a certain topic, a certain lesson, fully by using site.ai. Okay, and I mean, having said that, my human intervention is still there. I get the whole stack of the proposal, went through it and modify it. Okay, almost to 80%. And the future is bright, but we need to invest and come together in one mind in terms of the necessities that I've highlighted. Okay. Deep future is instead of Gen AI, we are looking at AGI, artificial general intelligence, that is build AIs with built-in emotions. Okay, I don't know how it's going to cry or laugh, but there will be some emotions attached to the responses of AI. This is the references, and thank you. And this is the last one. Okay, you can scan on this and try to answer the 5 questions. They said you will be given 5 minutes to ask me, so I'm giving you 5 questions now, and see. I hope this works. It's not working. It's good news for you. Okay. I will share with you the links to this PowerPoint presentation, and also the toolkit here. Let me show you this is the, okay, this is still in a spreadsheet format. There's a task scope on the far left column. Okay, you want to create quizzes like Socrative and whatnot, gamified quizzes or gamification lesson delivery, e-learning platforms, and whatnot. Okay, so you just click on the links, and this, as I said, from futuretools.io, there's 1,000 over tools, and these are the ones that I have actually explored. And then the next tab is on the prompting network, okay, which the students will find useful. I hope they will find this useful. How do you go about the series of asking questions, and also the educators. The example here is more for educators, okay, creating a lesson plan up to general questions and provoking questions, or thought-provoking questions, okay. Some lecturers will find that the students are still struggling to understand the concept, so you go to ChatGPT for help. And the questions that I wanted to show you in Socrative is this. Yeah, you can scan this if you want. They're not letting you go without answering this. So we have seen tools like this. I've in fact used Google Form or Jot Form integrated with some other apps to come up with this kind of live quizzes. Okay. So we have Rajivan. Is Rajivan here? And let's see who's the next lucky person. Jitin. Okay. So we have Jitin. So a lot of you. Thank you so much for your response. So, and you can see the feedback, right? If your answers are correct or not correct, you can see the feedback. I'm seeing from the instructors, instructor-facing UI. And yeah, with that, thank you so much. I hope my delivery was clear, and welcome some questions. Am I allowed? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Neuralink. Yeah.
I was asking a question about Neuralink of Elon Musk, and you are talking about improving the brain structure or what brain capability.
Yeah.
And can you little elaborate on that?
Okay, I can share what I understood from what the technology that they have described in their website, because at that point in time, and in fact until few weeks ago, it was still not released for use or for experimentation. They have created a chip that will be put into our brains.
Yes.
So, and let's say mine and yours, and we can talk to each other without uttering a word. It can process, I don't know, through eye movements or whatever, that it can convert my thoughts to text and transmit that text to your chip, and your brain is going to listen to that.
How is it happening?
They have found one human subject last week, I think, or 10 days ago, who have volunteered. But this human subject is not about a person talking to another person or speaking to another person without any words. But this is a human subject with some kind of health complications, that the brain, or that some of the organs are not listening to the brain. So they have embedded that kind of chip that will allow some signals from the neurons, okay, to go to the brain and process it as though it's a normal person without any disability. So this is how much I know about Neuralink.
Thank you.